that this little girl sees another little girl and that little girl isn't there, this big girl is about to not be there too. I am out. Hey guys, it's Sharon. Welcome back to another one of my spooky videos. This video though is something I have made before, so if you would like to see part one of this, technically speaking, or I guess the first annual one, that is my Spooky Sunday series, and I decided to bring it back this year because it was really wild last year. I basically asked you guys to send me your personal ghost stories, which there are so many ghost stories, and I'm like, wow, y'all really out here having all these paranormal experiences. I obviously reveal a lot of your embarrassing secrets or read your embarrassing stories, so that is exactly what I'm doing, just with your ghost stories this time. So if you'd like to see more videos like this, give us a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. And I do have a lot of more spooky videos on my channel and a lot more to come the rest of this month. So if you'd like to see those, definitely subscribe for more. And if you want to get my videos just like this one, follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter. But enough about that. Go grab your spooky snacks, your spooky blanket to hide under, your spooky tea, and let's get into these spooks. Wow. Imagine if you had to take a shot for every time I said spooky. Yikes. Anyways, I was at my grandma's house and she lives in the middle of nowhere and only has one neighbor. While I was staying there, I woke up in the middle of the night and saw a creepy man that looked like her neighbor. He was just standing there and looking at her house. The next day, we found out he died. Oh no. Was that his ghost or was that him? I would be so creeped out like I am right now, and that didn't even happen to me. Before we continue with this video, first lesson learned is just don't look out the window at night. Yup, that's why a girl sleeps with those blinds closed and with some curtains. No peeking for me. I grew up in an old farmhouse. When I say old, I mean it. This house was 200 years old. One day I was reading in my living room when I got chills. I heard someone walk down the stairs. However, when I called out to see who it was, there was no response. I sat back down and started to read again when I felt a breeze. I looked up to see a green shadow figure of woman and her baby walk by. Thinking I was imagining this, I waved at the woman. She stopped walking, looked at me, smiled, and waved. Creeped out at this point, I dropped my book and ran. Later, I asked my great-grandma about what happened. She then told me that her sister had died giving birth 80 years earlier. That is so creepy, but also weirdly interesting. Here you have a ghost with a potential backstory that you may know, and then it goes from creepy to really sad because you have this ghost of a woman with her child who she died giving birth to. Like, that's really upsetting, and it's just so crazy that this person's like, oh, I'm just imagining things, hey, and then the ghost waves back. Dude, I would run and never look back. I don't know where I'm going, grandma, but it's not here. One time I was putting my 4-year-old to bed and she was arguing to stay up, and of course I said no. She had to go to bed. She pointed across the room and said, why doesn't she have to when there was no one there? Oh no, I've brought this up and I'm bringing it up again. So there's a reason a lot of children are involved with scary movies and all these ghosts and demons and possessions. That this little girl sees another little girl and that little girl isn't there, this big girl is about to not be there too. I am out. If children are really the only ones that can see ghosts, then did I see ghosts when I was young and I just don't remember them? Like, that's weird. And oh no. I'd be like, okay, well, yeah, you don't have to go to sleep right now because we are currently moving out of this house. Bye. I met this woman a few years back while getting on a cruise ship. She said her name was Margaret something, but everyone called her Blondie. So we became good friends, and a few hours before we were supposed to get off the ship, Blondie disappeared. I looked everywhere, and then I reached a hall in the back only the employees could go in. I heard voices, so I went inside to ask if they know where she is. Once I opened the door, the wall in front of me had a picture of Blondie. I asked who she was, and they said Margaret Louise something, and she funded the ship in 1916. Honestly, I feel like this would be a great movie or like a series, a show episode, because what are the odds that you're going on a cruise? There's so many freaking people on a cruise, and you become really good friends with the ghost of the woman who basically funded this ship about more than 100 years ago. But again, like, the history buff in me is also kind of like, that's so cool. Like, this is a person from 1916. Still very creepy though, obviously, but I don't know, man. I would watch this show. A few years ago, my grandpa died. At his funeral, my little cousin started laughing. We asked him why he was laughing, and he said, Grandpa is right there. Didn't he die? He was only about 3 years old, so that cannot be a lie or a story he made up. You see what I mean about little kids and ghosts and stuff? Tell me that is not creepy. Like, you know what it is to be at a funeral? You're so serious, you're so sad. It's like so just really heavy feeling. And then a little kid's laughing because, he's not dead, he's right there. Excuse me? Honestly, I feel like in every situation though, I would end up running because, you know, if I run, it's not there anymore. Unless it follows me, then it gets worse. Okay, another lesson. You can't take little kids to funerals. Got it. It was midnight and I woke up and went to the bathroom. So while I sat there doing my business with the door open because it was midnight, I literally saw a ghost lady walk by in a long dress and a candle. She stopped to look at me and carried on walking down the hall into the mirror. The fact that all that happened while I was on the toilet, of all places, really, I am so vulnerable right now. Lady, I'm just trying to do my business. You couldn't wait until after I was off the toilet to freak me out? I feel like it's just really bad timing, okay? And now we know to close the door for the bathroom. Maybe she would have knocked next time. My parents always tell me that when I was younger, I used to see people in graveyards. And by that, I mean ghosts, which I guess is pretty spooky by itself. But they also told me that when we went on a trip once and there was a graveyard nearby, I would run around ducking behind the gravestones saying that I was playing with the kids. I would ask them if I could go play with them. I don't remember doing that at any point in my life, which freaks me out more. Oh my god, this is literally what I talked about. I was like, well, what if when we were kids, we were seeing ghosts and we don't remember? And here's a prime example of that. That is so freaky. Could you imagine if some of your childhood friends weren't even alive and they were ghosts? And they were ghost kids. Your best friends were ghosts. I'm gonna have an identity crisis right now. Oh no, no. Kids are scary, that's it. Once I have these worry dolls that you tell worries to, and at night you put them under your pillow and they take your worries away. One night I was counting them and I was missing one. I looked everywhere, in my pillow, under my bed, in my sheets, and I couldn't find them. Keep in mind that the sheets were pulled back and there was nothing on them. Well, I went to tell my mom and she was like, oh, we'll just look for it tomorrow. So I walked back to bed, I got all cozy, and I looked down on my sheets and the missing one was there. I don't mess with the double D's, and that is dolls and demons, especially not demon dolls. So I'm gonna go with maybe you just missed it. I don't know. Maybe it's like a Toy Story thing. The doll just comes to life and walked away. You know, maybe it's not as bad as like a ghost or a demon or a demon ghost, you know? But that also makes you think like all those times you lost something and then it just appears out of nowhere. Am I just not looking hard enough? Or is there some paranormal supernatural stuff going on? You know, really makes you wonder. Two of my friends and I were having a sleepover at one of their houses and I had a horrible dream about this old lady with long black hair, tattered clothes, and scratches around her eyes. It looked like she had tried to claw her own eyes out. I woke up in the middle of the night in a panic and saw that my other friend was awake too. I explained to her what I just dreamed about and my friend looked at me, a stone cold look on her face, and responded with, I just saw that lady in my dream too. That's why I woke up. What? Oh no. Okay, so you're telling me you're having a bad dream and your friend has the exact same bad dream? Like, I feel like it's coincidental when girls' periods line up. That's almost even normal. But when girls' scary nightmares line up, that's very concerning. I would say maybe it's a twin thing. Like if they were twins and they were related, but they are friends, no relation at all. That is really spooky. And if ghosts, demons, whatever can get into your dreams, I refuse to ever sleep again if that's the case. One day I woke up with scratches all over my back. I live alone and don't have any pets. How do you even explain that? Like what scratched you? Your bed? Your pillow? Your sheets? No, that is so freaky, and that's actually happened to me before. I was spending the night at a hotel with my friends and I woke up and I had all these random scratches on my elbow. Like they looked like they were like clawed, and I was just like, okay, so which one of you knocked me out and did this to me? But like obviously none of them did it, and the fact that this person lives alone, bye. Time to move, sis. Get out of there. Unless it follows you, then sounds like another problem. This summer, my friends and I decided to go with the car in the nearest forest and camp there for a night. It was about 9 p.m. when the sun was setting and we were driving around to find the right spot. But then we saw a little girl about 12 years old wearing a white long dress and a blue ribbon just wandering around. She stopped us and told us that she didn't know where her mommy was, and we decided to get her to the parking lot where she remembers her mom parking the car. She sat right next to me in the back and I gave her my water since she was sweating. We were just getting on the highway where we heard a bang and thought that we drove over something. When I turned to see if the girl was okay, she was nowhere. Then I saw that my bottle fell to my feet and that her seat was wet. We were all freaked out that she had just disappeared, that we left as quickly as possible and went back home. On the way home, I was searching for any ghost stories for that forest, and it turned out that a girl went missing many years ago there. I can't explain what happened that night, but I won't be going to that place ever again. All in all, it is very sad because there was a missing girl in that forest. So just imagine finding out that there is someone that lines up to this person you just picked picked up, but that person was a ghost. Let me find out. I accidentally picked up a hitchhiking ghost and then it just disappeared in my rearview window. I don't think I'd ever drive again. Yep, never leaving my house again. When I was really young, like about 3 or 4, I had a nightmare at night, so I went to sleep with my parents like you do when you're young. I then suddenly just started panicking, asking my mom to tell her to stop. Apparently just repeating that sentence for a little while. I eventually explained that a girl with a very scary face was opening and closing the door, ultimately deciding I would be better in my own room and leaving my mom scared to death. On its own, it isn't that bad, but when my younger sister was about the same age, she had a nightmare once and so went to sleep with my parents, same room, same bed, and suddenly she dove under the cover screaming really loudly. My mom was trying to get her to calm down, but she wouldn't. She eventually said, "Mom, can you stop her?" And my mom was like, "Stop who from doing what?" My little sister then said, "Stop the girl in the corner from turning around. She's got a really scary face and I don't want to see it." My mom was so confused at that point and just hugged her until she eventually fell asleep. Oh no, this was definitely a ghost and you can't tell me otherwise. I mean, first of all, you're at a specific age and you see this ghost that you're very creeped out about and your parents don't see it. All right, maybe you're just hallucinating, imagining things. But if your little sister, who then at that same age that you were, sees that same ghost and your parents still don't see it, mama still don't see it, nope, there's a ghost there, mom. Y'all know what time it is. Time to move to a new house. Bye, little ghost demon girl. No thank you. We were playing with an Ouija board and asked if there was anyone there. Nothing happened and after a few minutes we put it away. We have these old dolls in the attic, you know, the ones in all the horror movies. Later in the night I heard a whisper and one of those dolls was on my bed and said yes. Afterwards we went to church and moved. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Also, who just keeps those dolls like in the haunted scary movies? No thank you. Why do those even exist? After all these movies, why are they still around? Why is there some company out there still making them? For what? What are you gaining from this? Absolutely nothing. Let a doll say something to me. I'm chucking that doll into the river and moving across the country so it can hopefully never find me again. Once I was in a hotel with my friend and her family. My friends and I got a room and her parents got another connecting room. We were laying in bed about to fall asleep and I felt something breathing on me. I turned around but my friend faced the other way, sleeping. We also heard knocking on a door all night. Let me find out. I'm trying to sleep and there's something breathing on me? No. Try not to freak out. I'm gonna say, oh, it was the AC. The knocking? Probably some kid that's just messing around, you know, ding dong ditching. Kids do that. Yeah, I'm not gonna think about a ghost breathing down my neck while I'm sleeping because that's weird and very scary. I went to this daycare that was owned by a French couple about 100 years ago and their granddaughter died choking on her own vomit when she visited. When I was 2 to 4 and in music class, none of the kids were paying attention. Instead, we were all looking into the far corner. When the teachers asked us to pay attention, we all just pointed to the corner where a girl in a pale blue dress with stains on it was standing and staring at us. You were telling me a whole group, toddlers essentially, all saw this same girl that none of the adults saw? Oh no. Kids can see ghosts. Now I'm convinced. You can't tell me otherwise. You know what it is for a whole class to see the same ghost? I would be so freaked out. I think I'd be more freaked out as the adult versus as the kid because you don't really know much as a kid, but as an adult, you're like, what are you talking about, Timmy? No thank you. I literally have goosebumps thinking about that. Yeah, this was a very spooky video. Thank you guys for that. But if you enjoyed this video and if it spooked you out as much as it spooked me out, give us a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. If you have your own ghost story that I did not read that you would like to share, also feel free to comment that down below. Shout out the day goes to Michaela on Instagram. Thank you so much. If you would like to be shout out the day, just follow me on my Instagram and stay active. And of course, if you'd like to see more creepy Halloween inspired videos, I have a bunch more on my channel. I do have another one of these videos that I made last year in my Spooky Sundays series, so definitely check that out. But all that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!